Hey there, gang. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to make some carnitas. And basically what carnitas is, it's pork. Our store over here sells it in a bag like this, and what they claim is already cut up and everything, which is a bunch of bull crap. They're cut up in big chunks like this. I mean, to them that's cut up for carnitas, but it isn't. Carnitas doesn't really have to have a way of cutting them to a certain size or what have you. It's all preference to yourself. What this is, well, what they call it here is pork for barbecue, boneless carnitas vacuum pack. And what I did was I took it out of the pack, and like I said, there were big chunks like this, and I went ahead and started cubing them up. And I cubed them up to about, I want to say maybe one inch cubes. Good little chunks. I trimmed off most of the fat. The thing about carnitas is they have a lot of fat in it because it's basically pork. When people are making carnitas at certain places, like let's say for example stores that make them on the side so that they can have like on Sunday mornings with barbacoa or you know, tamales or whatever it is that they're going to be making that day, they just go ahead and just trim them up, because as far as they don't trim off the fat, they just cut them up and just throw them in the deep fryer and get it going, because they don't have the time to actually trim off the fat and all that other stuff. If you don't have a problem with fat, with pork fat, then just go ahead and leave it on there and go at it. I trimmed up most of mine. I took the silver skins off of some of them, or actually off of most of them, and I left a little bit of fat on some of them, but not that much. So after I trimmed them up, what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to start my fryer. I'm going to put it at about 375, I believe it is. I'm going to put it at 375 and start heating up the oil, and we're going to go ahead and start cooking these. Now the spices that I'm going to use, I ended up going over to my brother's a couple weeks ago, and they didn't really use the spice at the beginning. All they did was just throw the meat like that into the oil, and then once it came out, they went ahead and spiced it up with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and they used lemon pepper, and that gave it a real good flavor. And then topped it off with some limes and my barbecue sauce, which is a Magic Boas barbecue sauce, and it came out excellent. I mean, it was really good. I'm going to try a different spin on it, and I'm going to see if my rub actually works good with the actual carnitas itself. I'm going to do a couple of taste testers and see if it does work. If it does work, then I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole batch with my rub on it, and we'll see how that turns out. So the next step is going to go ahead and turning on the fryer and getting the oil heated up and doing a couple batches and see how it goes, okay? So see you in a bit. Okay, so the second stage now is to go ahead and cook the carnitas. I went ahead and did a quick taste test of one with my rub, and it came out really good. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of them with the rub. I went ahead and put the rub on it, and I let it sit for a couple minutes so it could absorb the rub into the meat, kind of give it a little marinade to it. And I also lowered the heat from 375 to about 340, 345 more or less. Also what I'm going to do is I've been timing it at about, I'm going to say 4 to 5 minutes for that one that I did. So I'm thinking with more cold in it, it's going to take about 5 to 6 depending. The way that you can tell when these are pretty much almost done is they float to the top. Once they float to the top, leave them there for a little bit longer, just kind of mix them around a little bit, and you'll know when they're done. The best thing for you guys to do is, if y'all going to go ahead and do this, is to do one, time it so that you can take a look at it, take it out, cut it up in half so that you can make sure that the inside of the pork is fully cooked. Remember, pork is the one that you want to make sure that you cook all the way through. Beef is a whole different story. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and lay these in. And again, they're like a one by one, more or less, cubes. I'm laying them all in to kind of fill in the bucket area of the fryer. Now what you want to do is, when you're cooking something like this, you want to make sure that the fryer bucket is inside the oil. And what that does is it prevents the meat from sticking. If you put the fryer up here on the top where the fryer is at, if you put the bucket on top and then put the meat and then lower it in, that meat is going to stick onto that steel, and that's what you don't want. You want to make sure that it stays off of the steel. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm setting my time. I'm looking at my timer. It's 7:26 right now. I have a timer on here, so I'm going to go ahead and set it for 5 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and let it start going. So as you can see over here, if you look over here on my timer, this is my ready indicator, knowing that my temperature is ready to go. So once I put all that meat in there, it actually cooled down the oil, so it's not indicating that it's ready. So that's why I'm saying it might take a little bit longer when you have a bigger batch to cook the meat all the way through. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cook, and then we'll go ahead and show you on the batch when it comes out, so that you can see how it looks. Okay? So see you in the next one. Alright, so for the next stage is we already went ahead and dropped them into the basket, and I've been averaging at about 5.5 to close to 6 minutes per batch, and this is pretty much what they're going to look like when they come out. They're nice and crispy brown color looking on the outside, just beautiful. Beautiful looking. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab to make sure that they all are okay, even though and here's the rest of them. I'm going to go ahead and throw these in there, and that batch is pretty much done. Since I do have all that oil that I have there, we went ahead and we're going to take advantage of it. Here's the carnitas right here, and what I'll end up doing is hey, dude, don't be texting while you're filming. Come on. Sorry, my kid was texting while he was filming. I'm pretty sure y'all were getting a shot of the floor. Anyway, so what I'm going to end up doing is we have enough oil. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do some fried pickles, which my girl just got finished doing. So we got them all breaded. We're gonna make some fried pickles, and then also make some fries too, and take advantage of the oil that we have right now. You know, I mean, there's no point in spending so much money on the oil and then not taking advantage of it. So anyway, what I'm gonna end up doing afterwards, I get everything all done and cooked. I'll go ahead and I'll show you how to finish up with the carnitas. What we do is we get a corn tortilla. We cut up the carnitas real nice and put them on the corn tortilla. You can either put that's my boy Caleb. You can either make some guacamole and add some guacamole or avocado to the taco itself. You can put some salsa on it. You can put some pico de gallo. It's all preference of what you want. With me, what I'm going to end up doing is I'll season it with a little bit of lemon pepper and have it all nice and chopped up on the corn tortilla, and then I'll end up putting some of my magic barbecue sauce on top of it, which goes great with everything. And I'll give you that in the next stage that is coming up right now, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do the fried pickles, and I'm going to go ahead and do the fries, and I'll cut till the next episode, which is coming up right here. Okay, so the final stage of the carnitas is basically putting everything together, all the elements. Now, like I said earlier, you can either do guacamole, you can do just plain avocado, you can do pecane sauce, you can do your type of salsa that you might have, you can do barbecue sauce, or you can do my magic barbecue sauce, which is what I use. So once the carnitas are done, this is what they're going to look like right here. Now these were the 1-inch cubes that I did. Of course, they shrink once you cook them. So if you want to make them bigger, you can actually make the cuts a little bit bigger. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll grab it and I'll cut them. Just kind of give it a good little slice. And I'll try to cut more or less what I'm thinking would be across the grain, which it is. Okay, so I got that one. Now you don't have to cut it. I like to cut it because I like to get you'll see what I mean. I like to put a little bit of lemon in mine, and I like the lemon to actually absorb into the meat itself. So once I already got this right here, you know what, we can make our taco with that one right there. You can either get store-bought corn tortillas, you can do flour tortillas, you can do whatever type of tortillas you want. Down here we actually have a tortillera that makes fresh tortillas every day. So I mean, that's the best way to do it. If not, then go ahead and go to your store and get the corn tortillas or flour tortillas, whatever your preference is. The flour is really good too, but if you're trying to watch your weight and everything, then you could also go with the wheat tortillas. The wheat ones are really good also as well, but the corn is always the best way to go. It's just the traditional Mexican way. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get the carnitas that I cut. I'll put them together right here. As a matter of fact, what you might hear in the background is the UFC. We're watching the UFC
Fight for the Troops.
Fight for the Troops. Thank you, Troy. Alright, so I'll put the carnitas like that. I like to add a little bit of lemon into mine. I'm a lemon freak. I just love lemon. And what this will do is just really absorb into the meat itself. I'll get just a dash of lemon pepper. And then from there I'll go ahead and I'll add some of my magic barbecue sauce, baby. Looks good. Oh yeah. From there, just wrap it up. And like I said, if you got avocado or whatever, you know, aguacate, you got the guacamole, whatever it is that you want to add to it, add it, whatever it is your preference is. And oh my God, that's so good. I shouldn't have took a big bite. We also, since we had a lot of oil, took advantage of it and made the fried pickles. The fried pickles, I had already done a recipe for the fried pickles. We also made some fast food fries also as well, and took advantage of the whole thing. Oh my God, this is so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and feed the family. We're gonna go ahead and eat, and I hope that you guys try this out. Now, one more thing. When you get, I'm sorry, I'm trying my mouth over here. It's so good. When you try to go to your store to look for the carnitas, you might not find a vacuum seal pack like I had, which was the actual carnitas pack. All it actually is just a pack of a pork butt. It's all it is. And all they did was just trim it up, you know, into big fat sections, and they call it carnitas. So if you can't find a vacuum seal pack that's already cut up, then just go over to your store. You know, we have HB down here. You can also get it at Walmart or where it is that you have an actual meat market, and look for a pork butt. Get that pork butt and just start trimming it up and just cut them into cubes and stuff, and just do it the same way that I showed you how to do it. It's that easy and that plain and simple to make carnitas, and they make a really good meal out of it. Now usually with carnitas we'd be eating rice, you know, arroz, which is Mexican rice, maybe some frijoles a la charra. I also have the recipe for you guys to do the cheater way of doing the frijoles a la charra. If not, some ranch style beans or whatever. But since we were taking advantage of the oil, we were eating the carnitas with fried pickles and fries. How crazy is that? Anyway, well, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys try it out, and we'll see you on the next time that we're cooking with Dirty Papas. Talk to you later.